different video for you guys today. I went ahead and I subscribed to a monthly knife club. And part of the reason was I saw a video by Neves Knives about a knife that I've wanted really, really badly. It was a Kaiser, an LC200N with a titanium handle scales on the drop bear, which is a phenomenal knife. And it had all the right things. And they were selling essentially in the Onyx subscription for about 120, but that knife was 150. And I thought, wow, what a great deal. Let me try this and see what happens. Now, it's fully my mistake here. And I admit that I should have realized if he's showing me that knife in March, I can't be getting it in April. And here we are. So for April, we got this, the SOG Aegis. I think that's how we say it. Let me find the Altair. Sorry, the Altair, not the Aegis. That's another model that they make as well. And it is a fixed blade. That was the first surprise, because the last 3 or 4 or 5 months, I didn't see any fixed blades that were coming out of this particular level for the subscription box. Okay, I figured why not? Let's take a look. I like EDC fixed blades. I mean, I got a whole bunch of them. And that's not all of them, by the way. I have 3 or 4 upstairs. I've been carrying the 3V from, oh shoot, I can't remember what brand it was. And I also have the Overland from TJ Swartz that I've been carrying a lot. So those 2 are upstairs, but this is good enough. In fact, they're a little bit closer to the size range, so they're a good sampling size. So I figured, why not take a look? Maybe it's better than I think. I mean, SOG is trying to reinvent itself, right? Let's take a look. So first of all, we have a 3.6-inch blade, 154 cm, made in Taiwan. And, well, the first thing I noticed with this is that it has one of the most uncomfortable handles I've ever experienced. In fact, I find that the Azula with no handles is more comfortable than this. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And you look carefully, you could see that what they've done is they've actually narrowed the steel even more, both on the front and the back, both of which are exposed. And it looks really cool because it kind of continues down and into the handles. So you have these really like triangular shapes going right into your hand on both directions, which does not feel great, to say the least. And then on top of that, this is a 3.6-inch blade, and the handle is so small, I barely fit in this handle. I really barely fit. And I don't have huge honking hands. Okay, these are normal large-sized hands. I mean, for a guy, normal hand size. And this barely accommodates my hand. And if my hand was any bigger, this little bit of metal that is exposed would then dig into my hand even further. Not a good start. Then, talking about the thickness and blade shape, I don't have any problem with it. It's a nice EDC shape. The blade length might be a little bit long or a little bit short, depending on what you're looking for. But okay. The jimping right here, which I'm pretty sure is designed for a pinch grip, makes absolutely no sense, because without enough belly, pinch grips like that don't actually do all that much. Or at least they don't offer a lot for the task at hand. And you want to be able to get up far enough that you actually put your finger to cover the tip. That's the way you would do it. If you were trying to skin something, you would want to cover that tip so that you don't puncture something you're not supposed to, which makes this jimping kind of in the wrong spot anyway. All right, so there's that. The handles are very, very thin, but if it's an EDC blade and it's designed to be carried that way, maybe it's a little bit more comfortable to carry. All right, I'll give you that. But that brings us to the sheath. And the sheath is a pile of hot garbage. Holy moly, what a pile of hot garbage. Okay, so, injection molded, not a problem. I mean, look, I got plenty of ESEEs that have injection molded handles, so I don't have a problem with that. My problem is this. If you can kind of see, there's a little piece of plastic that sticks up right there. And you look, I've only jammed this thing in 3 or 4 times. You can already start to see pieces of plastic flake off just a little bit right there. And the reason is, when you get this in, it's completely loose up to that point, and then right there, it starts to feel resistance until it's not even like a solid click. It just kind of goes in there. And I think what it's trying to do is put pressure on the very end of this blade. It's not going to take very long for that action, shoving this blade into this handle, for that little tab of plastic, that single individual piece, to be removed, and then this sheath to no longer function in its entirety. I think they were trying to do something different. I don't think that's the right call. They should have instead made a sheath that came over this finger stop, which would have been not only more secure, but because it's not sharpened, you would actually have had the plastic last a lot longer. As it sits, because this is interacting with the actual blade itself, it's probably going to end up getting cut over time, especially if you don't put it in exactly straight. You're going to actually run the blade up directly into that piece of plastic every single time. Now, talking about mounting positions, they have this cool little system. And the system allows you to adjust this 360 degrees. That's kind of cool, I guess. If you're only going to end up carrying this on a belt, and if I'm going to carry a knife on a belt, it's going to be a hell of a lot bigger than this knife. I don't see a reason why I would use something so small. When I pick up small EDC fixed blades, I like to have the versatility of choosing where I put it, whether it's in the scout position, whether it's in pocket carry, which is probably my preferred version. I have never neck carried a knife, but it is an option with the smaller blades, like this one, like the Azula, like the Cold Steel. This is the 3V Pendleton Mini Hunter. I've used this a bunch. Love that knife. Those are small enough and versatile enough. Even with that sheath wasn't great, I will fully admit that. But with something like the ESEE, I have a lot of different options. Not so with this. There's no way to mount a Utiloclip or anything else, because basically it's set up for either a belt in this design, and it better hope it fits within that distance, or you got to use this clip, which, by the way, is freaking massive. Like, it's how big is this thing? Holy moly. Hold on a second. It's like a 2.5 inch width. So on your belt, this thing is going to go shake all over the damn place. I just realized that. Sorry. Needless to say, I'm not pleased. So then, okay, the next question is, what's the price? They're valuing this thing at a discounted rate at $150 across the internet. Just taking a brief look on Blade HQ, this knife you can buy for $150. That's not the MSRP. The MSRP is like $170 something. They're valuing this thing at $150. That is mind-blowing, considering you can get the baby from Kaiser with a Kydex sheath, a good handle that is very, very comfortable, a larger blade in the same steel for $60. Yeah, this is way overpriced. Probably by about $50 or $60 at least. I don't know what they're thinking. To put this into perspective, the USA-made Zancudo in S35 VN steel with an unconditional lifetime guarantee, not even just for you personally, this knife, if you damage it in any way, they will replace it, period, full stop, no questions asked, is cheaper than this knife. You can get the SE3 in S35 VN for less than this knife. With contoured handles, same thing. You can get the SE4 in S35 VN for less than this knife. I do not understand why this exists right now at the price point it does. It's about $60 too much. And that's assuming you had good ergonomics and a good sheath, and it has neither of these two things. So I don't mean to rag on SOG. You know, it's funny. I don't blame the Knife Club at all, by the way, for this. In fact, I kind of want to thank them, because there's no way I ever would have bought this knife. There's no way I ever would have purchased this knife had it not been sent to me in a box. And maybe I'm going to keep the subscription for this exact reason, so that I get sent things that I never would buy so I could evaluate them. But do yourself a favor. If you're considering this knife, do a little research, look around, and you are going to find very quickly that you can buy better steel, better ergonomics, and from the better locations. You can get, check this out, you can get the non-Ontario, you can get the Condor, I think it's Condor. I'm trying to remember Ontario or Condor. Anyway, you can get this fixed blade, I'll put it right here, in Magna Cut steel for $130. How silly does this seem in the context of 2023 at $150? Okay, I think I've ragged on this thing hard enough. I want to thank Monthly Knife Club. I don't think they did anything wrong. This is actually one of the first times I've seen this shown on YouTube. So they probably get access a little bit earlier than everyone else. So this is kind of a cool thing. I think this is great what they do. I don't know if I'll keep doing it. I haven't decided just yet. But had I not been sent this in the mail, I definitely would never have purchased it. And my guess is that within, 5 or 6 months, you'll start finding these for under $100. It's April, and I know April Fool's is only on the 1st, but it feels like, in some ways, I guess it's all month. Or at least, I guess this is my April Fool's joke, huh? Anyway, thanks again for your time, and we'll talk again soon.